What up everyone, this is Chris here and welcome to another one of my Transformers discussion videos, and hopefully this is going to be part one of a two-part discussion video I'm going to do. But in this first part I'm going to be talking about, is the Transformers movie series, the current series, actually canceled? Now, it was just last Friday that reports came out from New York Toy Fair that Hasbro was going to be, and Paramount were going to be rebooting the Transformers series, that the current series had been canceled. This year's Bumblebee was going to be the last installment, and they were looking to reboot the series most likely in 2021. Now, just a day later, though, sort of conflicting reports came out that a high exec up at Hasbro named John Warden, he made a statement to the news site Bleeding Cool, basically saying, "Nah, don't worry, we're not rebooting." Is basically what his quote was. "Don't believe what you hear," is what he said. But then another tweet sort of called Bleeding Cool out, that they basically got that wrong. And then another Transformers site got a quote from another executive named, what was his name? I think his name was Brian or something like that. Or they got the exact quote from John Warden, sorry. That their quote said that, I've got it on the screen, but basically what the quote said was that Bumblebee was going to be their current focus. All they're focusing right now is on Bumblebee, and really didn't deny or confirm whether a reboot was happening, whether Transformers 6 was happening, or just any Transformers news in general. The current Hasbro movie slate for the next 3 years has no Transformers films. 2021 is their first open slot. They've got stuff like Micronauts and G.I. Joe coming out between them. So that quote that you see right there is about as wishy-washy a statement as you can get right there. Like I said, it doesn't confirm or deny a reboot is happening. And what it does is that for the first time in the Transformers movie series history, the Bayverse, if you will, the series is currently in limbo. With all the installments, we knew that with all the previous Transformers movies, we knew another installment was going to be coming shortly after. I mean, the closest we had to kind of potentially a limbo between movies was with Dark of the Moon, just because there was the potential that was going to be the last one in that series. But it was really shortly after, like maybe a month after, that they pretty much said, "Nah, we're going to be doing a fourth movie." So that limbo didn't last long at all. And what's amazing is that I remember when they announced that they were trying to make a cinematic universe out of this current franchise, I was like, all right, finally, no more gaps in between films. I'm talking about those 3-year gaps where it's like, oh my God, you just want some Transformers news. We're going to be getting films every single year. And now it seems like there's going to be a pretty big gap. If there is a Transformer 6, there's going to be a pretty big gap in between The Last Night and the potential Transformer 6. It's going to be at least 4 years, it's looking like. But at least we got Bumblebee in between then, if a Transformer 6 even happens. And yeah, this limbo, man, it just leaves the current state of the movieverse up in the air. Is a Transformer 6 going to happen? Is it not? We don't know. But based on those quotes from those Hasbro execs, it seems like the fate of the current movie series, it's not good. It's not good right now. Let me just say that in terms of the future, how it's looking. But the fate of the series really rests now in the hands of Bumblebee, everybody's favorite little yellow Autobot, and his movie that comes out later this year. Really, Bumblebee is the last breath for this movieverse in terms of going forward. Now, the Transformers series has been able to survive, even though the movies have not gotten good reviews at all, especially the last 4 sequels. And with The Last Night, it finally bit them in the ass. And not only did the movie not get good reviews, as we all know, it also did not do well at the box office at all. It was a huge drop-off from the last few films. Bumblebee is their last chance to really breathe new life into the franchise. For the first reason, mainly, is because there's no Michael Bay. He's not going to be directing this movie at all. He's only going to be a producer. Instead, we got Travis Knight directing this movie. And I think Hasbro will want to see, okay, what can someone else do with Transformers? We know what to expect from Michael Bay Transformers movies now, for better or worse. Let's see what someone else can do with the franchise. And can it be like the Wonder Woman of the Transformers movie series, where it just sort of wows people and how different it is from a series that had not gotten good reviews at all before? Hey, you never know. I think that they've put so much into their plans for cinematic universe that, maybe they do want to see that, what, let's just see if Bumblebee can be something different. Can it be that film that brings people on board? Now, they made some quotes at Toy Fair saying the movie is looking great. They're impressed with what they see. They like the toy line. Now, of course, they're going to be talking positive about the movie. They say they've seen footage and that it's looking good. Hey, we don't know. We haven't gotten a trailer yet. I don't think we're going to get a trailer to probably about April, so not too far away, but obviously we don't really know how different it is going to feel from the previous films. We just have sort of lip service right now. But if Bumblebee can be a good movie, and let's say it is a really big hit during the holidays, like a Jumanji-sized hit, where it maybe doesn't make like 900 million worldwide, but I mean, for this movie, I mean, if it can get like 500 million or maybe 400 for sort of a smaller scale Transformers film, that would bode pretty well, especially if it gets good reviews also. Then it's like, okay, now we back in business. And I think if that happens, Hasbro will potentially want to take the chance and put all their eggs in the basket in making Transformers 6 the last film of the franchise, or at least give it a chance, just because, they've put so much money and time into Transformers. It's been their number one money maker for the past decade. I mean, Transformers is their clear number one. A distant two is Mission Impossible. I think that's because it's been such a big part of Paramount. If they put out a film that just gets good reviews, hey, you never know. I've always said this. It just takes one film to turn things around. And hey, Bumblebee, it can be that film that brings sort of goodwill back into the franchise. You come back out with Transformers 6. Maybe it turns out to be good, because what we do know is that Michael Bay, he's not going to be back for these movies no more. And that's good. He does not need to be touching these movies anymore at all. I think his name is a box office cancer now. People just see his name and they're like, oh no. And I think Hasbro realizes that right now. And Bay's sort of out of the picture now when it comes to directing future Transformers films. And the last thing I want to talk about is the potential prequel film. Yeah, if Bumblebee, if that ends up doing well, I think the prequel film is still in somewhat development. We haven't had like a really solid update from it in a few months, but we do know that they've been recruiting people to work on that film. I actually think this is sort of good news that Transformers 6 has gotten pushed back, just because I think it would be better if you had the prequel film come out before Transformers 6. Just because in my ideal world, I would have Transformers 1 or Transformers 6 be the final installment of the series. And I think it would be most effective if you had the prequel film come out before then. Just because I don't think you should end the film franchise on a prequel. And, just give more distance, but distance yourself more from The Last Night and sort of making more quality films. That way people can get more hyped up for Transformers. And then when Transformers 6 comes out and you have a couple films that have finally, restored goodwill, boom, maybe you can finally do well again. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about here. If I still, based on all of this news from New York Toy Fair about whether the series is canceled or not, it's sort of wishy-washy. Unfortunately, I still have to say it's still probably more a 60% chance that the series actually does get rebooted, just based on how bad The Last Night did at the box office and the fact that they've removed Transformers films completely off their slate for now. If we don't get a solid update about that Transformers prequel within the next year, that's probably canceled. At least it would seem like it big time. But like I said, a whole bunch of it depends on how Bumblebee does. If Bumblebee is good and makes a whole lot of money, then I think they'll be willing to give the Bayverse one more chance. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. In the next part of this discussion video, it's gonna be talking about if Transformers The Last Night is the ending of this current series. How is the closure really for the whole storyline? That's what I'm going to be talking about next, so look out for that video. Hope you all enjoyed this video right here, and I'll see y'all around with another video.